Hello everyone, how is everybody doing today in the blockchain world over here? Can I hear some noise? A little bit of excitement here. We're the Web3 people in this world of iGaming here, which is exciting, right? Bridging the two to an extent. My name is Miguel Francis-Santiago. I wonder where's the slide dialer? Oh, there it is, right? So we're the Future Now DAO. Here particularly with the Future Now Media and our flagship product, which is the Future Now Film, that is finally going to Netflix in 2023 after 5 years of going around the world and really trying to understand how do we scale this space globally? How do we inspire people, counter the FUD, and create the narratives and the stories that we want to see flourish in the space? And that led us into essentially becoming a full-circle PR and consulting group over the 5 years, working with Brock Pierce for his presidential campaign, working with Tron and Justin Sun for their current DAO transformation that's happening right now as Tron Foundation is turning into a DAO. And it's been an exciting path of really finding the companies that really mean what they say, scaling that image through this visual marketing vehicle, which is the Future Now Film. And it really became a unison between PR and the visual marketing opportunity, right? Where you scale the story, you publicize it, you create the community buzz, and you really help companies scale what they're doing in the industry. It really became a visual NFT before we even knew that NFTs existed back in 2018, because it is by the community for the community. So companies do get to enter as co-producers and enjoy the sort of branding and the sort of storytelling that, well, not a whole lot of people do in the industry. And I say that with confidence, no bigotry. Our media partners network is quite rich. We publish in publications like Reuters, Cointelegraph, Be in Crypto, etc. We create the editorial public relations for brands to, again, scale their message. Our team, we're based in Dubai as of about 4 months ago. Before that, Los Angeles, but Dubai is much more interesting in terms of being a hub of the future. And I'm wondering if this is the right deck. This is actually a different deck, I think. No, it is. It is the right deck. Oh, great. Here we go. So it all started with the concept of emotions and feelings. How do you connect with the audience on a level that stays in their heart and mind? And we realized that was cinema. It was certainly cinema, and the aspect of creating a message that's backed by a sincere form of editing that inspires people, right? Because what are we facing? We're facing a problem, reaction, solution type of an environment where we're fighting the new world that is being created and governed and decided without our consent, right? It's being created for us. Whereas in this space, I believe, we want to be outside of the matrix. We want to be in control of our destiny, our value, and we want to scale that message. So we speak to politicians, albeit all have a history, but it's exciting when a politician says what Vicente Fox, former president of Mexico, mentioned to us in 2018, right? Where he sees this space as a revolution of governance and banking. And if he had a choice, he told me, he'd fire half of Mexican Congress because those people, he said, are not educated enough in what they actually do as governors to govern a nation. And that goes for all politicians. It's interesting, Mark Buckley, just a recent person who we've had the pleasure to speak to, who is an advocate for sustainable development goals at the World Economic Forum and the UN, believes that we live on a, almost like a sadomasochist type of an environment where we build these bubbles only to see them collapse again and again. So how do we get out, right? I think what we're seeing with El Salvador is probably one of the most exciting things to ever happen to the industry, right? Where you actually have mass adoption on a national level, right? Where El Salvador is openly showing the finger to the IMF, explaining that, well, it's our choice if we want to use Bitcoin as legal tender in part of our economics. And it's our choice if we want to, as the IMF says, threaten the national security of the currency, which I don't really understand how they come to that conclusion. But it's a very interesting thing to document because you're literally creating history. Justin Sun became an ambassador to the WTO on behalf of Grenada this past year. And it's amazing that he's working with the Caribbean nations right now to create competitive CBDCs that will be exciting to use by the Web3 world, right? Because again, what's the best way? Are we going to have a battle with these centralized digital banking currencies, or can we create an understanding and a dialogue? Eric Salvan of Firefly Aerospace, a company that managed to raise over $70 million for their Series A at an event in the middle of Texas, in the grass fields of Texas, about an hour away from Austin, which is a little blockchain farm, if you will, by Irina Litchfield called Ara Global. These are the sort of things that you get to see as you travel and document this. And we feel that having this on Netflix next year will finally give the general populi a better idea to what the actual industry is from the inside, because all the films that we've seen so far, at least, are more FUD-based, they're very general, they don't really show this and how this whole thing transpires and takes place. So we're excited to be having thought leaders like Crystal Rose Pierce, the wife of our dear friend and brother Brock, who is, as you may know, the former running candidate for the US presidency in 2020, talk about things like mass vaccination and digital passports being a double-edged sword, being another control method being thrown at us, right? So it's great to open people up to this conversation that you don't always get to have in the public eye, right? Akon, the founder of Acoin Foundation, understands this very well. The old leaders have to understand they cannot stop decentralization and the power of the free will, the power of love, right? Because the young people will outlive them and introduce it anyway. And even people like Guy Kawasaki, who in 2018, this is one of the first evangelists of the Macintosh computer who worked with Steve Jobs, right? Not understanding crypto at all, saying like, what? Here I develop a phone, I create value, I make money. What do I do with crypto, right? What, can I take it to a bank? Get out of here, he said. Yeah, that's bullshit. Great TV moment. Hopefully he changed his mind now, but I don't know, maybe the Luna situation kind of put him back into it. But hey, we're at the 1994 of the dot-com era, right, here with blockchain. So mistakes will happen, things will be experimented on. But it's great to have perseverance, and some people have maybe too much of it. Like John McAfee, may he rest in peace. He truly, I think, exemplified what a crypto punk is. As controversial as he is, he was a great person, starred in 3 of our films, and truly said the thing, right? What are we here for? We're only here to leave the world a better place for our children and grandchildren. And even the central banks are starting to realize this because they're measuring trust in Bitcoin, according to Miko Matsumura, a good friend of ours, who saw how all of a sudden, in 2019, we could see the institutional mass adoption quickly take place with Cube and other companies coming in, JP Morgan switching gears, etc., right? Because they're looking at digital gold as maybe just one sort of Sharpe ratio-based asset exposure, a small chunk, but when you look at the global founders of the world, a small chunk of that can actually move the needle. And I think that's what we saw in post-COVID 2020 with Bitcoin's price going to 50K. I think he predicted it very well. And really, it's 2 guys and a dog sitting in a garage trying to figure out how to make the world better, as our good friend Tim Draper always envisions. We cannot strangle innovation, we cannot over-regulate. Women in blockchain is another thing we give value and attention to. We speak to women innovators, and we feel this is the space where women truly can quantify their feminine energy in calming us down, focusing us, and also becoming great leaders in the space of technology, which, it's happening now as the revolution of consciousness is taking place. It's great to see so many women like Anna Frankowska, Forbes 30 under 30, take take the flagship role for a lot of women in blockchain and create initiatives for them to join the space. Michael Turpin, who was just here, another great friend of ours, said a great thing to me once in 2019 at the Blockchain Mediterranean Cruise. 24 years ago, Newsweek said, right, how the internet was a joke and none of it would work, right? Because you can't redefine a paper publication like Newsweek, right, on a computer. But then the print edition, as we know now, is out of service. There's 4 billion people on the internet. They all said nobody will trust the internet, but credit card companies fixed the security issues, right? They said you can find anything. Google fixed that, right? And you don't know anyone. Facebook fixed that, right? So this is really what we're seeing. We're seeing the most amazing time in redistribution of value and truly, I think, a recreation of a world system. So I think each and every one of you here needs to ask themselves, why are you here, right? Why are you playing this game? Do you want to contribute to a better world or do you want to make a quick buck? What we've been able to do is essentially start our own decentralized media company turned boutique PR and consulting agency because of this space. Because before I used to be on Vice News and I used to work for centralized media and it was not pretty, believe me, when they tell you what to do, right? Now nobody can tell me what to do. And the locus of control is based on a lie. As the founder of Skycoin, one of the first Web3 companies in the space of blockchain, back from 2013, right? Very good quote here, right? How do we change this locus of control from corporations like Google, YouTube, Twitter? It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be smooth. There's going to be, you know, quote unquote, a war. They're not going to let go of this power, right? But integrating with players like Meta on a level that will allow us to play together with them, we can already see that it's impossible because of the censorship we currently get on Facebook, right? So I think anybody that believes that there's going to be a blend is in for a surprise, right? There's going to be a blend only if that involves passing your stake of control to that centralized entity that's coming into the Web3 world. And I don't think that's what we want, right? Because the countries are going to collapse. Their whole centralized political systems are based on a lie. And with that message, and that food for thought, I'd leave you with our little 3-minute 5-year anniversary trailer of the Future Is Now film series that you can watch on subscription video on demand in 2023. Thank you so much for your attention and for your time, and let's make the future together. The future is now.
Why are you here? Why are we here?
If we can't give to our children and grandchildren a better world, then what the fuck have we done with our lives?
Why do you play the game? How are you measuring or scoring yourself in this game? Because to some degree it is choose your own adventure. I choose impact.
For the last 5 years, we've been traveling the decentralized world.
When evolution happens, you can't stop it. You just have to honestly watch it. If you get involved, you're going to get in the way and you're going to get rolled over.
The decentralized world is definitely coming. And there is, of course, a blowback where the centralized governments are going, wait, we don't want, we don't want to lose our power.
We have spoken to countless futurists whose goal is simple: fix the money, fix the world.
What is a Bitcoin City? No taxes on capital gains, no taxes on property, no taxes on payroll.
Bitcoin is the new guillotine, and the network is the new reign of terror. And if you don't, on the right side of history, you're going to find yourself without a head.
Welcome to The Future Is Now film, the first documentary film series on Bitcoin's disruption across the world.
We have a massive opportunity right now. The past year has proven that a lot of the systems that we've relied on for a lot of our lives are not as resilient as we've been led to think.
Aligning the future. The question is, what does it take?
Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, they are our allies if we really want to reach the mass adoption.
If you have something that the people want and the entrepreneurs want, and it's a better solution, eventually it wins.
no matter who's against them.
This is our chance to impact the world and expand our community together through cinema, emotions, and perseverance. We have a chance to aid our planet in the moment of dire need.
This idea of mass vaccination and, passports, digital passports that relate to it, they're sort of a double-edged sword.
What's more important than living together on the planet? Why the hell do we have war? War is dumb.
There is no tomorrow, no yesterday. There is only now, this moment. This is the future. The future is now. Join our DAO at thefutureisnow.community and become a part of the movement by supporting the Future Is Now film, the first cinematic NFT documenting Bitcoin's progress across our planet. And now, together, make a wish towards the future.
Give love to think of everything that you want to do that is not for yourself but for the world around you. I wish for your wishes to come true.